Wonderful thing about Tigger is that I'm the only one. I'm the only one. Welcome to Therapist Reacts Raw, where my producer gives me something that I've never seen before and gets my reactions in real time. We are reacting to Daphne's confession in the rain to Simon from Bridgerton. I've not seen Bridgerton yet. I was working on cinema therapy stuff while in Australia with Alicia, and she was watching Bridgerton, and I kept glancing over at her screen once in a while, and I'm like, are they having sex again? And she's like, well, they just got married, so, you know, everyone has sex when they just got married a ton. And I'm like, that's true. That is true. So I haven't watched Bridgerton, but Alicia gave me a little bit of the lowdown on Daphne and Simon, and so his father was telling him that he wasn't good enough, and he had a lot of parental shame, and that he didn't want to have kids because he didn't want to keep the line going because of the family line going because of his experience with his dad. And so she didn't know how sex worked. Like, I haven't watched the show, but I know she doesn't know how sex works. So he's like using the pull-out method and doing all this stuff. And then she takes matters into her own hands, so to speak. And there's a big fan outcry. And I'm caught up a little bit on some of this. So I know a little bit of the story. I have not seen this scene. So let's see what Daphne confesses. I was just telling you, I don't even know if that matches what's going to happen in the scene, but that's my understanding of the story.
We agreed to one dance tonight, a waltz.
I miss dancing with your father. The very last time I danced was with him. At a ball. There were peacocks present, I believe, real ones. I suppose I miss everything about him, really.
The two of you loved each other so very much. It is a rarity, I've come to realize.
But that is not to say it was without its trials. Your father and I faced many difficulties indeed, but we overcame them. We made a decision early on to do so.
That's true.
I do not think
we chose to love each other every single day.
We chose to love each other every single day. It is a choice. Hot damn, that's some good writing. And that is very, very true. Alicia and I have had times that nearly broke us. We have had times where I wasn't sure that we were going to make it. And love is a choice, right? It's not just a feeling. Some relationships don't last because the love is no longer felt. And so it's like, well, if it's not here, it's not here, but it is chosen. And it's not fake it till you make it. I love, one of my favorite lines is Dan in Real Life, that love isn't a feeling, it's an ability. The ability to love is what produces the feeling of love. That there are times in your relationship where, based on poor choices or trying circumstances, the feeling of love may dissipate and you wonder if you can get it back. And sometimes you can't. I mean, that's true. But many times you choose to love, you choose to practice the ability of loving somebody, of caring about their welfare, of treating them well, of sacrificing for them, of being accountable to them, of forgiving them, of hoping that they forgive you, of making changes for them. And I'm not talking about changing who you are. I'm talking about shedding the harmful parts of yourself or the weak parts of yourself and growing stronger for one another. That's all choices that you can make day in and day out. And Alicia and I have found our love for each other again several times, right, throughout the course of our marriage. It is a choice. And so I love when Daphne says to her mother, you loved each other, it's such a rarity. And her mom's like, no, this is not like, oh, we hit the jackpot and we happened to find the person that we could just love and it worked out. You have to work at it and you have to choose it over and over and over again. This is good writing. Maybe I should watch Bridgerton.
One that is never too late to make. I may never be able to see your father again. I may wake every morning and touch the pillow he used to lay his head. But knowing that the two of us made the choice to love and to do all that we could, I cannot tell you how much peace and comfort that brings to me.
I wish there was something from Mom. I wish I could do this.
You are a Bridgerton. There is nothing you cannot do.
Now go make up with your hot-ass husband. Look at him. I mean, come on. That guy should be the next James Bond. I'm casting my vote right now. Are they going to play wizard chess on that? Because that looks like the wizard chessboard from Harry Potter. That dance floor. So right now it's just all for show. Because he's clearly not happy with her. I don't mean overall. I don't know about overall. Just in this moment, he's not happy with her. I like this little Tigger dance they're doing though. Like, I think more formal dances should be bouncy, 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 trouncy, bouncy, fun, 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 fun. Most wonderful thing about Tigger is that I'm the only one. I'm the only one. Beautiful symbolism. Things are getting hard. Let's get under cover. Let's hide from it. Let's run from it. And she is standing in it. It is cold and it is wet, and I'm going to deal. Nice.
Everyone, I believe this evening is complete. We shall thank our gracious host for such a splendid soiree in the morning. Now go out.
Soiree is one of my favorite words.
Daphne. I am so sorry.
For what? Even a duke cannot control the weather.
I know that this is not what you had envisioned for the evening.
Certainly not.
And for that,
It is better. I know why you made that vow to your father. I found the letters you wrote to him as a child, and I read them.
Daphne.
Just because something is not perfect does not make it any less worthy of love.
It's true. First of all, if we only loved perfect things, there would be no love in the world. And yet we expect perfection of ourselves, or we think that our imperfections make us tarnished, rejectable, unlovable. And so many people extend mercy and grace and kindness to the imperfect people around them and not to themselves. And he doesn't extend it to himself. My understanding is because his father was so harsh and critical, and a lot of you watching can relate to that. Your parents were harsh and critical and perfectionists and expected this and that of you. And so you find it hard to love yourself, find it hard to believe that you are worthy of love and devotion. But you are. And what I tell people is, what makes you so special that everyone else in your life deserves a second chance, deserves redemption, deserves compassion, deserves empathy, deserves to be accepted, tolerated, cherished, even in their flaws and imperfections, and you extend that to them. What makes you so special that your flaws and imperfections make you worthy of hatred, worthy of rejection? Why would you be so unique? It's a paradoxical thing to say. Usually when you say you're not that special, it's hurtful, but people take it in the spirit in which it's intended. You're not so special that your weaknesses and flaws mean that you don't deserve love.
Your father made you believe otherwise. He made you believe that you needed to be without fault in order to be loved, but he was wrong. Should you need any proof of the matter, then look just here. I am tired of pretending. And I cannot continue acting as if I do not love you. Because I do. I love all of you. Even the parts that you believe are too dark and too shameful. Every scar, every flaw, every imperfection. I love you.
It reminds me of a line in Good Will Hunting where Robin Williams is talking to Matt Damon. You know, that you're not perfect. The girl that you are interested in, she's not perfect. And then he says something so profound, which is those flaws, those weaknesses, that's the good stuff. That's the stuff that you show to the people that you trust. That's the vulnerability. You trust them with it and they embrace you. It's hard to get that. We're so conditioned for conditional love. We're so conditioned to act in ways that get us love instead of just being and being loved. We have to start by giving it. We have to start by extending it. And I'm not saying we accept every behavior. There are certain behaviors that are hurtful. But we can differentiate between the person and the behavior. That we may need a behavior to change, or we may find a behavior like, this is not something that I'm willing to tolerate. But people aren't intolerable. Love can be given without condition. Trust may be conditional, for sure. I require honesty, transparency, accountability. I require these things to trust, but I'm going to extend them. I'm going to practice those things and model them. But what Daphne's doing here is so wonderful. She is extending unconditional love. I don't need you to be perfect to love you. In fact, your imperfections are something that I cherish. She's giving him permission to love himself and to acknowledge her flaws, her weaknesses, her struggles, as she's not broken, she's human, and she's lovable.
You may think you are too damaged and too broken to ever allow yourself to be happy, but you can choose differently, Simon. You can choose to love me as much as I love you. That should not be up to anyone else. That cannot be up to anyone else. It can only be up to you.
Kiss her, man. I guess he's got to process it for a while. Way to leave the ball in his court, though. That's awesome. And he's got some stuff to work through before he can get there. Yeah, that might be the best written love speech I've ever seen on television. So bravo, Bridgerton people. You're not just Jane Austen with skin. You got something to bring to the table. I dig it. I dig it. I'll probably watch this show now. Okay, fine. Fine. I will watch Bridgerton, and I will love it. I'll address not addressing it right now. I've seen in the comments, people have asked me to respond to the moment where she climbs on top of him during lovemaking and makes him finish so that she can get pregnant or potentially get pregnant. I can't comment on that because I haven't seen it yet. And also, we're not going to watch that clip on our YouTube channel. But I will say the act in and of itself, yeah. You don't do anything sexually against the will of your partner. There are layers to that relationship, though, and that doesn't justify her behavior. His deception is a separate thing, and he would need to take ownership of that, and she would need to take ownership of what she did, and that would be part of reconciliation. We often try and justify our behaviors. I did this because you did that, right? The only way relationships work is if everyone's responsible for their own selves. What you did was not okay, but that doesn't justify what I did, right? And I'm sorry, and I want to make things right. That's how that would work. So that's all I'll say about that. But this scene, hot, that's wonderful. I love it. I am feeling lighter watching all this healthy relationship stuff because we're about to do some reality TV crap, and heaven help us all. You're asking for it, so we're gonna do it, and it's fun. But man, I love to see this good, wholesome stuff. How beautiful. Now, you've seen my heart warmed. Do you want to see me squirm? Watch me squirm as my producers have me watch some passionate stuff.
I burn for you.
The other Daphne and Simon scene that I react to, you're going to want to watch this right here because, whoo boy, it was getting hot. What do you think about the idea of loving someone's imperfections and flaws. When is that a good thing? Is there a scenario where that might not be a good thing? What do you think about this scene? Or what other Bridgerton moment would you like me to react to here on this channel? Thank you for watching. As always, keep shining. We need your light. And there is the video I was telling you about, because I deliver. That's why they call me the Pizza Boy.